The first time that someone called me a wife guy, I wasn't really sure how to respond. Hi, my name's Jeremy Gordon. I'm a senior editor at The Atlantic, and I recently wrote a piece in defense of the so-called wife guy. If you're just encountering the phrase for the first time and you think to yourself that wife guy must mean a man who simply loves his wife, you would be very wrong. The phrase actually describes someone whose affection for his spouse is so ostentatious, so unbelievable that it naturally invites scrutiny. Now, the term wife guy is a byproduct of several overlapping internet trends, which is to say that if you're using social media, you're very accustomed to broadcasting what's on your mind and what you're doing all of the time. And over enough time, all this stuff sort of gets reduced to a type of caricature. So once a clever person noticed that loving your wife seemed to be an identity that lots of people were performing, so the wife guy was born. And around this time, once it came into popularity, there seemed to be wife guys everywhere. There were famous wife guys like Prince Harry or John Mulaney who turned their spousal affection into part of their bit. There were social media influencers who made loving their wife into part of their accounts and started making money off of that. Before long, you didn't have to be a guy who excessively loved his wife in order to be a wife guy. You just had to be a guy with a wife. Some of these famous wife guys got divorced or the relationships seemed to crumble. Some of the non-famous ones seemed like maybe they were just in it for the money or they were a little too needy, a little too insistent. The rapturous affection they showed for their spouses began to look like a red flag, but that I, a 36-year-old heterosexual man, should love my wife does not really seem like it should be controversial. We spend all of our time together. I find her beautiful and smart and charming and friendly. She's got great taste in movies and literature and fashion and basically everything. Honestly, all that's pretty great. If you're not married to someone who you think is wonderful, I highly recommend it. And for me, I am on the internet. I am a poster. I share opinions about the TV shows that I'm watching or the food that I'm eating. Posting a photo of my wife when she looks particularly wonderful and we're having a nice day is secondhand nature. It's like anything else I might post in the sense that it comes from a very natural and real place. Yet I do understand people's skepticism. My friends probably weren't very used to me being so effusive about a person who I was dating. In the past, I'd been more accustomed to kind of keeping my feelings to myself, not necessarily because I was afraid to express them, but because I was always kind of anticipating that moment in which, maybe the relationship would go wrong and I'd look back and these sort of passionate declarations would begin to feel a little bit silly. Many men are accustomed to bottling up their feelings, and while wife guy is a pretty silly phrase with a lot of humor involved, it still does feel like a little bit of a dig, just a little bit. But I'm not really worried about coming off a particular type of way to somebody or the sort of private thoughts that a stranger or acquaintance may have in response to my declarations. Many of us are performing as some identity in some way, and I can live with being a guy who loves his wife, no matter what nicknames it comes with.